I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Bills, financials.
I don't know, I haven't had time to look.
I don't think we had any James Valley. Double check.
Well, I can abstain, I guess.
No, I don't see anything here.
Anything you want to point out to us? Any questions for anyone before? I guess with that said, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you much.
Board reports. I think so.
Okay. So we wrapped up all of our winter programs here in the last month. Our wrestling program, our youth wrestling, and our adult volleyball stuff. And then our last night of swim lessons was tonight. So all of that is finished up, and we're geared up for our summer registration now. Our brochure came out last week into the schools and in the paper. We have it online as well. Online registration for that stuff starts this Monday at 8 a.m. for online, and walk-ins start at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. So we're hopefully double-checked everything and triple-checked everything, make sure everything's right and ready to go on the website. There was one for sure typo in the brochure, which is for our outdoor aquatic center sale for our family passes. It says May 5th through the 9th, and it's actually May 2nd through the 8th. So, but we do a lot of Facebook advertising for that. When we have our radio shows, we've been doing that, and our radio ads too will show that. So, but if somebody does come in on the 9th, we're gonna honor that as well on that Tuesday. But usually everybody comes in within that first couple of days. So that'll be coming up. Most of our staff is hired for the summer. Jamie would still take 5 lifeguards at least, just to make sure she's got enough, because everybody's got a busy schedule, and she tries to work around that as much as she possibly can. But with 2 pools, she usually likes to have around 40 to 45 guards. She's made it work with like 36 before, but that gets tight, and sometimes the schedule for these kids and stuff, it's kind of hard. But so we could use a few more if it's possible. And we've had some interest in it lately. And she did her lifeguard training course here a couple weeks ago. But Sioux Falls still offers lifeguard training classes here throughout the next month and a half. So if anybody's interested, they still have an opportunity to do that. So at the rec center, we're using our old pool space right now for our after-school program and the preschool. Our couple different programs after school have been in there and stuff. So we're using the space as much as we can right now, which is good. We're still looking at, and you guys are going to hopefully approve this second phase for Shemmer to get going on the bid for that second phase here to get that room completed. So hopefully we can get that bid out and hopefully done this year yet. The Aquatic Club, I don't know if any of you guys are involved in the Aquatic Club, but their coach resigned and left after the state meet, and so they've been without a coach for basically since the state meet at the beginning of March, and so they haven't had practices at the rec center since then. Probably won't until end of May, maybe June. So that is going to kind of affect our revenue because we have no lane rental fees from them here from basically March to the end of May, which is gonna be an impact on our revenue, like I said. I'm not sure how much for sure, it kind of depends on when their new coach gets hired. I think they have somebody that they're interested in, but I'm not sure if they've accepted the position yet, so. Hopefully they get somebody hired and they get going. And then our issues with our pool, the indoor pool, the Plaster. Right now the plan is to redo all that in late July after our second session of indoor swimming lessons. Did not get worked out for April. We were thinking of doing it in April, but two sides have not really agreed on who's going to be paying for the problem. So, but since then we do have, I mean, we've probably got 11 or 12 new big holes in there, plus we see where some cracks are already starting. They are, like I said in here, they are cosmetic. I mean, it's not going to hurt people to swim in there. It might not look the prettiest, but it's still, everything's still fine with the pool, just there's holes in there. And so, as of right now, we're hoping to get that done in late July. Take about a month, I'd say, to do it, so. But Fitz is kind of working on that to figure out if Aquatic is going to do it or if they're going to hire somebody else to do it, so. Any questions?
Repairing that, what does that entail? Is it a repair or is it redo?
It's replaster both pools.
Okay.
It's taking it out and replastering both. And when the guy was here back in August when we had him drained, one of the guys, technicians, told us it usually takes about a week per pool. So it'll be 2 weeks to do that, plus it's always a week to drain them, a week to fill them back up, so it's at least a month. Yeah. Not ideal, but it has to get done.
Our belief is that it all needs to be redone, so depending upon the attorney you talk to, it sounds like patching is still an option, but we believe otherwise.
Sure. I mean, imagine if you patch it, it's going to be at other spots and start showing up.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's Pitts's belief is, too, they're on the same page as us, is it needs to be totally redone.
This is the Parks report, or you?
Steve is hauling ice, so
And when he does ice, it's not for an ice making company, it's hauling the ice off the arena.
away.
Because he's the Class A driver of the semi-dump truck. So as far as what he's got going on, he's been trimming trees and hauling away stumps or grinding stumps and taking care of prep for outside in terms of U2 wiring. But they have something over at baseball field last week in terms of one of the plumbing issues going on. Is that yours?
That was us.
Yeah, yours too. Yeah, because you got facilities. But he had nothing out of the ordinary that he pointed out and said, hey, I got to take care of this. But other than the fact that he's hauling ice, anybody has any specific questions for Steve? Well,
I'm not sure if it's a Steve question, or I saw on the city council agenda they had a grant request for the pickleball courts.
that's neat.
What?
Basically, there's some local entities that are involved in the pickleball board who are doing a fundraising process, and they said they've got commitments of around $30,000 right now, and they actually got in their first donation of $5,000 today. And we're looking at the alternative, not an alternative, but actual matching funding sources for that to come through. And one of them is quite certain that they can come up with half of the funding, or about $75,000 with a $150,000 price tag to make this happen. So we come up with some matching source in terms of grant funding from the state. We should be sitting pretty good if there's a guarantee on that.
And what are they wanting to, are we talking over at Hitchcock replacing? I know that was the original plan, I didn't know if it was still the.
6 new courts over there, yes.
I assume behind the new ones.
Behind the new tennis courts, correct. So according to the tennis coach last month, though, he'd like to see all new courts, but he really never discussed that with the with the pickleball people, but ultimately, who wouldn't want all new tennis courts for their tennis teams? So they got to cooperate with the space in that respect. Since pickleball, they kind of got the ball rolling, no pun intended, last year with Nate, my predecessor, and the fact that they've got such a hefty start already on their fundraising goals of up to push on one.
Are those courts, are they smaller than a tennis court, the actual court they play on that's
Yes,
smaller?
20 by 44, so just bigger than a racquetball court.
Okay,
But the actual space they need in terms of buffer or perimeter is about 30 by 60 instead of 20 by 44.
okay.
And a tennis court is 78, I believe, by 35, 36.
I think they told us you could have the tennis court, couldn't you? And they could play on each side or something when they were here to.
You can actually get 4 courts on
Yeah.
a tennis court with just slightly longer boundaries.
Yeah.
They like their own space. So if they're willing to fundraise and do that, they don't have to chase a bottle spot. Any further questions regarding that?
Okay, at the ice arena, we had the men's league tournament last weekend. That was our last tournament and probably our biggest one. They used both rinks. They had 20 teams in 3 divisions and had 33 games. Brought a lot of money in for the Hockey Association, for the city. Everything went very well, besides a couple of fights and a couple injuries, but that kind of happens every year at that tournament.
So they moved you out after the fight?
What's that?
Did they move you out after the fight?
No, they can't do that. All the hockey practices are done. Those finished on March 31st. Figure skating is still going to go to the end of the month. Their contract is through the 30th, but they'll probably go the 1st also. That's a Sunday, because we won't start shaving that down until Monday on the 2nd. The last day we're going to do open skate bumper cars will be next weekend, next Sunday. We use the same clovers for our softball field concession. We have a tournament on April 30th, so we'll need that for that. We're taking ice out right now. It's taken a little longer. I kind of underestimated or overestimated or something the weather, so it wasn't ready to go right away today. So that's where Steve is. But the north rink will be done today. And Rink Tech is there right now. They have everything in that they need. They brought their 18-foot rack that's got the compressors on it, the controller board. It's all wired up there. It just needs to be wired to power. They're bringing chiller barrels. I'm not sure what else they're all doing now, but they'll still come back in the fall and finish up and be here to start up and make sure the ice is good before they leave, and we'll time it to where we'll have it ready probably the first part of September, and that'll give us about 3 weeks to make ice to have it ready by the 3rd Wednesday in September. We've got to have it up for contracts. The staff is just cleaning and doing ice maintenance on the other sheet in there.
How did you bubble the plumbing in?
For the baseball?
Yes.
Yep. Something was clogged, so we turned on water for tournament headquarters and concessions at the stadium. Tournament headquarters is the first thing that would come on, but there was no water in tournament headquarters. But the concessions and the bathrooms had full pressure and worked just fine. So something was plugging that line, but it works now, but we're still not turning it on because of this weather. I think Friday is very nice, 18, but it's the low. We're still kind of holding off on that. McCadwell, Mitchell baseball, DW baseball, and softball have started. They've been going for a little bit. Mitchell varsity has 19 home games, JV has 8 games. DW baseball has 15 games, JV has 4 games, and softball has 12 home games. We did our travel team meeting, which is our 12 and under group for baseball and softball. We did that March 24th. 14 teams showed up to that, so we all signed fields and had all the agreements. They started practicing when the weather's been good. They haven't really been out this week. They go on all the park fields and Cadwell softball fields. We got up the last 2 scoreboard posts and scoreboard on the west softball. We got the electrician's gonna come in next week and wire those up, and then we'll put the signs on top, and those will be good, and that tournament is April 30th. I'm still looking at putting up sunshades. I've been looking at putting them up for about 2 weeks now, but you kind of need 0 wind. I mean, even a 10-mile-an-hour wind with that big shade going up there 20, 30 feet, it gets kind of hard to get that last one hooked on. So hopefully we have a day.
Sounds like in May somewhere there's gonna be one, so.
I don't know, maybe. We got that early bird tournament on the 30th. That's a 12 and under baseball. It's just a 1-day tournament. The staff has been cleaning bathrooms and picking up garbage and leaves, and then picking up garbage again and leaves and again and again. Working on fields when we can. I only got 2 seasonal guys that are working right now, so kind of wait until Wesleyan's done or colleges, then I get a few, and then a lot more high school will be done. I'm still looking for concession workers for softball. I have 7 right now, which will be good for this tournament, and then softball start, and that's only Wednesday and Thursday nights, but I'm hoping to get 10 or 11 or maybe 12 for the tournaments in June. We got a tournament every weekend in June. We'll need those. And then turf update. We had a few problems with the turf in the bullpens. One of the bullpens, the plate to the mound was 53 feet, and it's supposed to be 60 feet 6 inches, which wasn't a problem. They just cut out a piece and put in a piece of white turf for the plate. And that was actually in the green part of the turf where it was supposed to be in the ground. So they can move that back 6 feet and that one be fine. But in the other bullpen, for some reason, that was 80 feet long and the other one was 70. Well, the plates were 60 feet 6 inches, but they were still in the green. So I had a little conference call with Mid-American yesterday, and a crew just showed up today. They pulled them from Spearfish, so they're going to come in. They showed up about 4, so I showed them. There's a curbing that goes all the way around. It's a 6x12 curbing where the turf gets glued to. They're going to cut out 7 feet of that and then redo a curbing so they can glue it, redo the turf, and move the brown up more to where it would be in those plates. They said they would be done tomorrow. The other crew that was doing the turf came back up on Wednesday, yesterday. Yep, and there was a little piece that they needed, that change order that we did. They got the turf laid in there and a bunch of sand put on it, but they weren't out there today because of the wind. But they said that's only a day or 2 as well, so we'll see with the wind how much they get done. I'm hoping after that, a few more issues with some seams on the field, but they were going to address those and get with me tomorrow. And then we got a little bit of fencing to put up afterward, but I think next week is possible for a game there. That's what I'm hoping.
Ready for field dedication on the 29th.
Yep, and then on the 29th, all of you guys are invited for Wesleyan plays at 1 o'clock, and we're going to do a dedication at around 12:30 on Drake, and then Mitchell plays later, but I'm not sure if they'll play on the stadium or the turf. But all the park boards and everyone is welcome to come to that dedication. At soccer, DW, they had 2 spring games. The last one was on the 10th, so they are done until the fall. The men didn't do anything this spring. The Mitchell Soccer Association, they started their practices April 4th. They start games for their youth league on the 16th, and that goes every Saturday until May 21st. And then they have a competitive league, which is, I believe, 12 years old and up. They don't have any games scheduled as of yet. They mostly do tournaments out of town. So we've been painted 7, 8, 9, 2 and 3, so 5 fields there, and field 4 for the Wesleyan game. So just cleaning up from games. I don't think they practiced at all this week. Keep seeing it's canceled on their Facebook. But I don't blame them with having 6-year-olds out there. So we got all the nets on, all the fields painted for that, so it's just maintenance as of now to get through the spring season. That is about it.
When does on the north side is where the rodeo at the soccer complex? When does that start?
I believe so. I emailed the mayor, this was a few weeks ago, and he said that is still the plan as of now, but the rodeo committee and whoever owns where it is now, I believe, is still in court. There might be a lawsuit going on. So he didn't give a timeline, because I was wondering if we even need to fertilize it.
Because they need to figure out if they're gonna get all that equipment from the rodeo grounds before they decide what they're doing.
I don't know what.
I thought that was what the disagreement still was between who owned like the bleachers and all that.
He just said that, he couldn't give me a time frame of when it would happen or
Okay.
really if it would happen because of that. But we're gonna keep upkeep on it, but no one uses it, so we're just not gonna paint it.
Okay.
I don't really wanna let it go and have it look terrible right now, until I know that they're gonna be on it and it'll all be stripped anyways.
Thank you. Next item we have is what we got here, the Mitchell Rec Center Exercise Room, Phase 2.
That'd be great. Thank you, Kevin.
So I think you guys all have a copy of this, right?
It was in of them.
Okay, yeah, so this is the proposal from Shimmer for the second phase of the old pool room. That includes new electrical, flooring, new walls, new ceiling and lighting, 4 new doors in there, and then along the hallway, cutting out that wall and making the opening. And then the big one is the HVAC that they're including. And so this is their proposal to redesign that whole second phase for $14,160. If you approve this, then they can get, I think they have a lot of the groundwork done to where we can get this thing hopefully out to bid within the next 8 weeks, hopefully. So just looking for your guys' approval to move on to the second phase of this and hopefully get it done this year.
The one question I guess I had when I looked at the HVAC for this is, I don't see anything mentioning like air exchangers, and is that just not?
I'm guessing that's all in their redesign. I know the mayor helped them out a lot on what kind of HVAC system they were going to use, because I think they're looking at doing a heat pump type of thing, I believe.
I was just, after going through COVID, I'd like to see a lot of fresh, clean air, and just wanted to make sure that was included when we were designing it.
We got the rec center got updated with all that stuff. A lot of the city buildings did, so I'm not sure where, I don't know if they got into that room when they did ours or not, but.
That was my only question, I guess, when I looked at it. I didn't see it.
Something I can ask Robin, just to make sure.
Any other questions?
I'll motion approved.
We have we have a motion and a second to approve the Mitchell Rec Center Exercise Room Phase 2 contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carried. We have approved the agreement for the professional services for the pool. Oh, pool room.
That's the same thing.
It was the second thing that you had sent me. You had sent me 2 emails and told me to put them on.
I sent you the same thing twice,
Could it?
because that's all we needed.
It's like the same,
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
I see that the total dollar amount is 20,000 on this one, right?
That was the first design, in our first contract from them.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
20,000 to do the whole thing, and then they had a redesign fee of, and we had discussions about it, but Stephanie had discussions with them about that fee, if that was gonna be correct.
Because they did include the HVAC.
Yeah, they didn't, that's where a lot of the extra fees are coming in, is including the HVAC in the second one, so.
Okay.
The actual design process of the HVAC.
Okay, I guess that's it then. So I have the next meeting for May 12th at 6 PM. Does that work for everybody?
Is that golfing season? Baseball
That's
season.
working season.
Tree planting season. Tree planting for everybody else, tree sales for you.
Yeah.
And shrubs.
No? All right, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Everybody, concerted effort to have all the electronics
Yeah, 'cause I-
fully trained in on the next month.
This is this was the other thing you sent me, and you asked if I put it on, so I did. And it's got a very long signature.
Yeah, that was for the first
Okay.
phase, so